Okay, mix slow is our opponent. So let's see if he really plays slow or if he plays rather quickly so this is a knight of defense in the Sicilian, and bishop d3 is a rare move because as you can see, the knight on d4 is now unprotected. This might be good for us in some lines. On the other side, the bishop is protecting e4, and this is often a weakness in the white camp, so it's double-edged. And f4 is often played, and let's keep it flexible. I'm not sure whether I move my knight to c6 or d7, so I wait a bit, and I think I play it to d7. I could have played queen b6 now, maybe even winning this pawn, but let's just develop. And then next move will be b5 and bishop b7 likely. And g4 is this idea maybe. Okay, let's play b5. Bishop b7, putting pressure here on e4. And this might look good in the future if the pawns move and we have some lines open. Then the vis-a-vis of the rook and the queen might be a potential problem for white. And I think I do some preparation moves now. First bringing the rook to the c file, because here I have pressure on c2. And now I have more attack on e5. I needed a square for this knight as well, and I want to retreat it to d7 if he plays g5. Okay.
Check.
I want to keep the pawns in the center. I'm not afraid about an exchange of queens, so then there is no attack at all for white. And what you can do here often is sacrifice the exchange. So I somewhat threaten to take on c3. He takes back, yeah, and then taking on e4. But by moving this, white avoids it. So it's a pity. Okay, so d5 is a nice square. So it chains. I take back with the bishop. I mean, I threatened to take on f4, so he really needs to take, I thought. This is also interesting, because, I mean, if he really wants to take here, I have a check. Okay, let's take here first.
Check.
Check. And you can see that I have two pawns now for the exchange, so this is quite good for me. And how to improve? Let's play f6 to that the knight can't move to e5 or g5. Protecting e6 in advance, and then improve the position of my rook. If he takes here, I could just play g6 and the bishop has no squares. Okay, but then let's play g6. And bishop e3 I think is one of my next moves, just to keep the pawn here. On the other hand, if he ever plays rook f4, I can play bishop d6, so it's not really a threat. Okay, now I threaten to play knight e3. Do I threaten it? Yes. Because if he takes here, I have a check. If he takes with the rook, I can just take back. Didn't he see it? Or did I miscalculate something? So I thought I can play knight e3 now. And I have a lot of threats. And not only threaten to take here. If he takes here, I can play bishop d6. I threaten to take his bishop, so yes, I think this is winning. And if he takes here and thinks he can take my knight after bishop d6, let's say he takes here, bishop d6, he takes here, then I have a check, and then I win this rook as well. Yeah, but
check.
Here I thought I can just take here with check. And then maybe knight g3, yeah? And if he moves his bishop, I can take here, takes back, and then his rook. So, yeah. And I have a lot of pawns. Yeah, but if he takes with a rook,
check.
I have another check here on e2, so he needs to take with the pawn. And now I'm not only a piece up, I have a lot of more pawns, and this is an easy win. So yeah.
White resigns.
White resigned. I think one of the key moments of the game was yes, around here, because I could exchange a rook for a piece and 2 pawns. And
check.
I mean, if you look at this position, my pawns are really strong. This pawn here on f4 is controlling all the dark squares, and it's well protected. And I can use e3 as a jumping point for all my pieces, for the bishop, for the knight. And in the end, White had a lot of problems to find good squares for his pieces. I mean, how does he really want to enter? It's very difficult for him. And I could just slowly try to improve my position, and I had pressure here on this wing as well. And sooner or later, I just I threaten now to play e3, and if he takes here, I take back with my bishop, and these bishops are really strong because I can try to open up the position here on the king side, and there are always a lot of possibilities with forks and pins. And just imagine these pawns again, for example, bishop a6 would pin these rooks. It will not be very easy for White to escape these bishops. The bishops are very strong in an open position. I remember a game when Kasparov, the former world champion, he played in an endgame with 2 bishops against 2 rooks. So this looks not good, yeah, but he managed to win it. I think pawns was roughly equal, but yeah, he didn't even take the exchange directly when he had the chance to do it, because his bishops were so powerful. And yeah, so look out for possibilities to sacrifice maybe the exchange if you get some nice compensation. and I think 2 pawns, like in this case, or such a strong pawn on f4, is certainly worth an exchange, because just imagine here is a piece on e3, it's at least worth a rook. So sooner or later he needs to sacrifice it back, and in the end I have a pawn more, or maybe even 2. So look out for any possibility to exchange, give an exchange, if you have in exchange some other slight advantages.